Okay, so last week in Dirk Gently, I forgot what's the title of this episode. Do you remember?
Shoot, I even made sure to look it up.
I know, and usually I do, and I didn't this time. But anyway, so Dirk Gently's holistic detective.
They even said that in the episode today.
Yeah, the first time. Oh, they said it. The name of the thing, Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency this week. Finally, the scene I've been waiting for. The assassin meets Dirk Gently, because Dirk Gently's a moron and
and starts screaming.
Yeah, fix everything is the name of the episode. Dirk Gently's a moron and starts screaming in his Jeep, "I'm Dirk Gently," and I knew as soon as he stood up, and started screaming, "I'm Dirk Gently," I was like, and because they were in traffic and everything, I was like, oh, the assassin's gonna fucking find him.
Yep.
And sure enough, she did. She starts shooting at him. There's something that he calls her, which I loved. He calls her a dirt muppet. And if you've listened to the previous Dirk Gently reviews, you will know that I have an issue with just how filthy that girl is.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a straight up skank, dude. I want to see, I don't know who the actress is, and I'm sure I could look it up because, internet.
Right.
I want to see a picture of her where she had, like, her teeth are normal, and she's, like, dressed normal, and her hair isn't all gross. But whatever, that just adds to her character. And we're confirmed that her name is Bart for some reason.
Yes.
And what did you say the electrician's name was?
Ken.
Okay, so in this episode, Todd tells Amanda, "Oh, damn, she is cute."
Her name's Fiona.
Aw, Fiona. Well, hopefully we'll see more of her where I want to know what she sounds like in real life, because that can't be her real voice.
Right? She is the same age as you.
Oh, nice. Maybe we have a shot.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyway, so Todd tells Amanda that he never really had whatever disease that he had.
Right. And that goes
Something
sour
radiolitis.
real fast.
Yeah, she gets really pissed.
I
she
think,
is not happy.
For reasonable, I think it's a reasonable reaction.
Right. And basically she tells him, because, we talked it was maybe the segment before last of the Dirk Gently series that, he's talking about how much of an asshole and how much of a piece of shit she is. And she straight up tells him, "You're as big of a piece of shit as everybody thinks you are, you motherfucker." Because, she's been living with this disease and having to deal with it. And she was finding strength through her brother because she believes that he had it. And she also was getting hope from it because she also believes that he beat it or was cured of it or got over it or whatever. Well, she finds out now that that isn't the case. And we do get to see a flashback of them in a club and, having fun. And hopefully she'll remember that because, they're brother and sister. They're going to fight. And, this was a big deal, but hopefully they can get over it. And she needs to remember that he has supported her over the last few years as far as the story goes.
It is an important distinction that Todd failed to mention when he was telling her this. Like, he told her all of this stuff in kind of the worst possible way.
Right.
Because that's who Todd is. Yeah. He's not good at stuff.
Yeah, he's not a good person, really.
He's not. But he's
dishonest.
Trying to be in making these changes, in helping to take care of her, because he realized how big a piece of shit he was when he was just mooching off his parents and claiming to have this disease.
Right. So the detectives, we start at the beginning where the detective that died, his partner is talking to the police chief or whoever's in charge. Yeah. And he's like, "We got to go back." And the police chief's like, "No," and ends up firing the other detective. And he was like convinced. He's like, "You're in on it. Just tell me. Just say the words. Tell me you're in on it." And of course he doesn't, and he's removed from the building. But at that point, the police chief opens up the drawer, pulls out the cell phone, and calls Gordon. Yep. And he's in on it. Yep. So that's confirmed. Also,
they had an interesting conversation later in that episode too.
You're right. And we'll get to that. But also the detective now understands that Lydia Spring is the dog.
Yep. He pulls the dog out of the office and is sitting there on a bench just talking to the dog, getting shit-faced.
Getting drunk.
Are you Lydia Spring?
Bark, yes. Bark 2 times. Bark 3 times to spin around in a circle, and she does it every time.
Yep.
So he's having a hard time, like, coming to grips with that.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course I would. Especially, your partner just died, you just got fired, and then you find out that the girl that you're looking for, soul is in a dog. So he goes back to find Dirk Gently. Todd and Dirk, and he is in the middle of an argument with his sister. And then his sister gets in another bout of her whatever disease. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Something ribulitis or something.
Pararibulitis.
Is that even a real thing?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
But anyway, so the detective comes and they get the girl, they get Amanda, and they take her outside, and the Rowdy Three show up and suck out the essence, and the bald guys show up, and they kidnap Todd, and the detective runs off to do whatever.
Taking Lydia as the corgi.
Right, and then the FBI agent, who is possessed by one of the bald dudes, finds Farrah and Dirk
because Farrah
called him because she's dumb.
Stupidly calls him, yeah.
But at the same time, was it stupid? Because it got them in the
end
it
got them exactly where they needed to be.
Exactly where
Fair
they
enough.
needed to be. Yeah. Farrah Nuff.
Farrah.
Whatever her last name was Nuff. How interesting would that be? But
right?
anyway, so
it's Black, Farrah Black.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and she's the only black character on the show.
No, she's not. You've got the electric engineer dude.
Oh yeah.
Or the electrician
Ken.
dude. Yeah, Ken. But anyway, so and there's one of the Rowdy Three is black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Osric Chow is one of the Rowdy Three as well.
Yeah, so
little Asian kid.
I really like that one dude's beard that has like the blonde streaks in it.
That guy is kind of an awesome actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Like he was in either the second or the third season of Bates Motel as just this completely psychopathic fucking guy.
You know, I watched the first 2 seasons of that. I haven't seen the third. But one thing that I like about the Rowdy Three, and I think I just now realized it, is that they kind of remind me of like the 80s movie version of the bad thug biker gang type, punk type stereotype that you would see in all those like 80s movies.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway.
Like Bill Paxton's character from the beginning of Terminator.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's who the Rowdy Three are. And hopefully that's what Max Landis was going for when he created those characters. But anyway, so at the beginning of the movie, or I'm sorry, at the beginning of the series, or the episode, I'm dumb today. Apparently, I can't talk. We see a flashback of what is it, Spring's grandfather? Or
no, because I feel like that was probably Zachariah, whatever his name is, the guy who owned the house before Spring did. Right.
He's got the machine, and he's trying to he's doing something with these animals with it, and they're dying. And
like it seems like even he who designed it doesn't know what it does because he keeps killing small animals with it.
And he buries them out there. There's this graveyard and puts a little cross on the grave.
An ever-expanding little graveyard of tiny animals.
But one of the dogs ends up disappearing, and then in the machine is a note from Dirk Gently. Now, do you remember what it said? Because I caught a very little of it.
I actually paused it and rolled it back so that I could read it, and I couldn't really make any sense of it whatsoever.
I do know that it said Dirk Gently at the end.
Yes,
and
it did.
So that may be how Patrick Spring originally contacted Dirk Gently to investigate his own murder, because he's had this letter forever, or whatever. But anyway, let's get to the good meat of the show is whenever the assassin Bart meets Dirk Gently.
Yeah.
She tries to, she's chasing him down. She's shooting at him. She runs out of bullets, and she tries to shoot him. It doesn't happen,
and she's just completely confounded because every time she points a weapon at anybody, they die.
Or just says hey, asshole, or dickhead, or whatever.
Anytime she wants someone to die, that person dies, regardless of whether it's her actually doing it or if it's happenstance. Whatever she's wanting to die, dies.
Right. Well, anyway, they both end up saying everything is connected at the same time, and then kind of have the same dialogue at the same time.
They have exactly the same dialogue.
And she's just like, what the fuck?
And then Farrah beats the living shit out of her.
Farrah beats the living shit out of her. She gets stabbed in the leg, and apparently she's just never been hurt before.
Never been injured, ever.
Yeah. And
won't stop fucking screaming.
Right. Oh, it's great. And so Ken takes her to the hotel and gets her in a bathtub, and he sees on the news that the person that she yelled at in traffic in the last episode that got hit by the car had been keeping people prisoner in his home. And he's like, holy shit, that dude really was supposed to die.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finally, after all this crazy stuff, now believes. He's like, you're screaming bloody murder. You've been stabbed in the leg, covered in blood.
And we just walked through a crowded hotel room, and no one set up a thing.
No one notices. So he's on board at this point. Now, I really hope that the assassin and Dirk get some more get a chance to dialogue some more. I want to see that dynamic and play together.
Yeah.
I hope that she's going to be a reoccurring character in the show. With as filthy and disgusting as she is, I do look forward to seeing her every week.
Right.
And was upset, like visibly upset that one week that she didn't show up in the episode. I'd say that's my least favorite episode for that reason. What was that, Watkin or something?
I don't remember.
But anyway.
It was like 2 weeks ago, though.
Right. So at the end, Dirk's captured, Todd's captured. They're in the thing. Gordon confronts them, and then somehow they manage, like Dirk like figures it out in his head that this is a time machine, which I've been saying since the beginning, we're going to get some time travel.
Yeah.
And we did. And then Todd and Watkin or Gordon Rimmer fight, and somehow he gets the coat on.
Yeah.
And then Dirk's like, touch the machine, we're going back and all this stuff. But one thing
We're gonna fix everything.
We're going to fix everything. One thing that I thought was really funny is Dirk mentions, he's like, these are gonna be the people that have all the answers. And then Gordon walks out and he's just like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on with this? Why were you in the hotel? Why and just asking all these questions, and
it just goes back to
it's just absurd. And he's like, well, oh shit.
Ah. Son of a bitch.
So there's only 2 episodes of Dirk Gently left, and we've been there every step of the way.
We have.
And luckily, unlike South Park, there hasn't been any hiatuses with this show, which I appreciate. So if you haven't watched it yet, and I've noticed that a lot of our Dirk Gently videos are getting more views kind of as we go on, especially the very first one. So if you're one of the people that have been watching or listening to our commentary on the episodes every week, we appreciate it. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think about Dirk Gently and how you think the next 2 episodes are going to go.
Exactly.